What's up, guys? It's Stephen and Misty here at Bealeton Baptist. We are in week 3 of our atypical series. So last week we talked about how atypical families pray for one another and how you can get really angry with your brother and sister and pray for each other. So how'd you guys do with that? Have we had any prayers for your parents or your siblings? Or
Been praying more. How about you guys?
Yeah.
All right, and this week it breaks it down just a little bit further with a different family. No family is perfect, not even ours. The biblical family weren't either, and God still wanted to use them. So this is about Isaac's 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And remember, Abraham was the father of Isaac, and then Isaac had these 2 sons, and they were twins. And it was even predicted in the womb that there were nations warring against nation. And they weren't identical twins. One was hairy and loved to go hunt. The other one was more musical and smooth skin. And one was closer to the mom, the other was closer to dad. Favoritism all over the place. Imperfect family, right? And then what happened?
They're about as different as you could be. So Esau is the hairy, muscular, tough one, and he was out hunting, and he came back and he was just so hungry. And Jacob was like, "Hey, Esau, I'll give you this bowl of soup and this meal for your birthright." And so Esau, he had to have been very hungry to do this because the birthright's a huge thing. But he traded it for that meal. And then, so then they had to end up waiting until Jacob was to the end of his life, or Isaac rather, waited until the end of his life until they could get that birthright paid in full.
So years later, now what he had done is going to come to fruition. So meaning now it's time for the blessing where you get the big inheritance, the money, make the decisions. And what had happened was, the father was blind now. He's in bed. He goes, it's close. And so both boys, and this is just what they did back then, went and made a meal. And they were supposed to bring it back to their father, and then he would give them the blessing. Well, Esau being the hunter, it's going to take a while. He went way out in the woods, found what he wanted to. And while he did that, they tricked the father Isaac with Jacob, who was really smooth skin. So they put hair on him. His mom helped him put hairy, made him feel hairy because they knew would feel of him. And make him smell like him and fix them a meal. And so they come to the dad and they go, here's your meal. And he went, well, that was really quick. And then they lie and they go, the Lord blessed us, really. So that, because we knew your time was short kind of thing. And
Sounds like my kids.
Yeah. And so they gave him the meal, but he still kind of questioned it because his voice sounded like, Jacob.
He was blind, so he couldn't see him.
So he feels of him and he goes, well, you feel like him. And you smell like him, so I'm going to bless you. And he blessed him with everything. And then boom, 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 he's gone. And now the brother comes back. He's hunted. He's prepared the meal. He's tired, exhausted again. Gives it to the father. And the father went, what do you mean? I already blessed you. And he said, no. He was angry. He stormed out. He threatened to kill his brother. And so the brother ran. And then years and years later,
so
he's married now, right?
Yeah, Jacob's married, has kids, and he gets a message that Esau is returning. So Esau fled, and he's coming back. And so Jacob doesn't know if he's going to kill him or if he's going to have roses or what he's going to do. He's terrified. So he hides his family behind him, and because he doesn't know what's going to happen. And as Esau approaches, he just runs to him and hugs him and embraces him, and they reunite. And that's
incredible.
Unbelievable,
Forgiveness like that.
And so a lot of times in our families, especially in COVID and quarantine, we're all so tightly close together, and you can have all these anger and fights.
And we can't run away.
You can't run away. You're stuck there. And so when someone does wrong to you or you do wrong to another person, it's very important that we have these tough conversations. We have crucial conversations, as we call them at the church. That we can talk these things out with one another to reconcile. Yeah,
it's really important. And so Scripture gives us a way to do that. It says, when you deal with this, it says, if your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the 2 of you. So if there's a problem and it's obviously just one-sided, they did something like with Jacob and Esau, you go to them just between the 2 of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take 1 or 2 more believers along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen, even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector, which wasn't very nice.
Not at all. Yeah, so Matthew talks about, how we go about having those crucial conversations. Go one-on-one first, and if they still don't listen, have a group of people come and listen. And I think for me, getting criticism can be really hard.
Yeah.
And so if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, look, we got to talk this thing out," I can instantly become defensive,
right?
And I can start trying to cover my tracks and give excuses.
Right.
Well, I did this because of this, or this because of this.
Right.
And if you flip over to James 1:19, James says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be," and this is very, very important. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry.
Yeah.
And so when someone's coming to you earnestly and tries to have that crucial conversation with you, be slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to get angry.
Yeah.
And I think if you can take that and apply it to your life for a lifelong thing, it's going to make your life way easier.
Yeah.
And it's going to make your life a lot more successful as a Christian.
Absolutely.
And as just a normal person.
More
even
peace,
if you're not
you can sleep better.
Exactly.
Tell them about Driven.
Yeah, so Driven is Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We will see you on the Overdrive. And this next Sunday is the first day the church is going to open its doors. We're all going to be back 6 feet apart, but we're going to be together again. So we miss you guys. We'll see you. Peace out.